What's going on, guys? I'm here with one of our clients, Graham, who added, you said over $300,000 to your video business over the past year working with us. Dude, what's going on? How are you?
How's it going? Yeah, absolutely amazing. Busy.
Dude, I know. Absolutely. I guess for anybody who maybe doesn't know you, do you mind just giving us a little bit of background on you and kind of what you do?
Yeah, most definitely. So my name is Graham Duval. My company is Valued Productions, and I help business owners skyrocket their business using content and video marketing.
Nice. I love it, man. And where are you based out of?
I'm based in Maine.
Sweet. Very cool.
Yeah.
And I know you've been a client of ours for a while now, but I guess what I know we'll speak to some of the new things that we're working on because there's always new levels in the business. But I
Yeah.
guess what was kind of the problem you had prior to jumping in? What are some of the things we've tackled recently that you feel like has really helped kind of move the needle for you in the business?
Most definitely. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't joined this program 100%. So, like, that's the biggest thing.
Well, I
Like,
appreciate it, man. You did the
yeah,
work. I can't take credit
yeah,
for you doing the work. We're happy to be a small part of your journey and help you
most
along here.
most definitely. And so, like, after like initially getting started, like I was to a point where I was bringing in business, but it's like, okay, so how do I actually like take that to the next level? Because ultimately, my goal as a business owner is to remove myself from that like part of the business eventually. So like it's running and it's doing its thing. I'm still involved right now,
Yep.
but like eventually us working together, that's going to be the goal. And so what we've been working on is starting to implement the processes to start doing that. I've built up a team, and yeah, so like working towards that.
I know we just recently hired an appointment setter for you.
Yeah.
Like, how has that kind of helped take some things off your plate so far?
Most definitely. So it's well, one of the things that you always talk about is like we're working towards our next bottleneck and like where that next problem is. And so
Yeah.
like for a while it was getting the leads into the sales, and then it's like, okay, now in fulfillment. And so now it's like how I have this setter bringing in more business and like how that's going to take it to the next level. And
Right.
so I just onboarded him recently, and he's already killing it. As far
You said
as
you
like,
did 30K in sales last week and he booked 4 appointments for you his first couple days.
yep, most
I love
definitely.
it.
Yeah. So it like clearly it's working, and so now
And you're like, holy crap, there's so much.
Yeah, exactly. And so like
Yeah.
now working towards that next bottleneck, and we talked about this yesterday, is like, okay, so I was doing a lot of fulfillment, and so now I need to start working on that bottleneck of like, okay, now I've got this setter who's bringing in business and setting appointments for me. Like, I need to lay out all the processes on how to offload that next,
Yep.
as far as like all the business that he's going to be able to bring in. So
Yeah. Yeah. I
uh,
think business is interesting because, like I say, it really is the theory of bottlenecks, right? So, like, when you first started, and when a lot of people first start, they don't have a lot of leads or sales or people that they can actually close. And then when they start closing those, then it becomes that bottleneck on the fulfillment side. And you need to start taking yourself out of the day to day and some of those smaller tasks so you can rise up and kind of become more of the operator of the business, and then eventually putting an operator in place so then you can be the owner of the business. And I always like to refer to
exactly.
like using a sports team analogy, right? At first, you
Right.
just got to run the ball down the field, and
Right.
then you can hire a quarterback, and then you can bring on the best defensive linebacker. Like, you can bring on all these people, and then you become the coach, and that's the owner operator. And
Right.
then eventually you can become the owner of the team where you have a coach under you who coaches the players, you
That's
know?
such a great analogy, and that is the ultimate goal. Like, where like being part of Master Filmmaker has definitely brought me to a point where I'm like the coach and a little bit of the player at some
Yeah.
points. Maybe I fill in on the quarterback, but very close to being straight coach right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's exciting, man, because it's like
Oh,
you're building this machine that's
yeah,
helping clients and serving you and building this thing that's able to make you money, and start to take that and build something independent of your time. Because we talk a lot about like being a technician versus being a business owner. And I
yes,
think like you've really made that full on jump into business owner where you can hire technicians under you to do a lot
exactly.
of that stuff for you, where you don't have to do as much of
That
that.
has been one of the biggest game changers, is that mindset shift of like, you know, I started this business like, oh, okay, I'm going to be a video person and I'm going to do all these
Yeah.
shoots and stuff. And then like coming in and having that eye opening of like, oh, there's no way I can get to this level of what I want doing this myself, you know? And so like, yeah, I bring in my team. I've got my editing team and I've got my people on appointment setting, and eventually we're starting to work on bringing in the closer eventually, you know? And
Yep.
so like, I'll have this full operating machine, which we're close to getting
We
to
are.
that point. And so it's
Yeah.
absolutely super exciting.
It is, and it's so interesting because I think a lot of people still operate out of that like technician mindset, and I think you just at the end of the day you need to decide what you want, because
Right.
it's not for everybody. You know,
Nope.
running a business is putting in systems. It's sometimes not all the sexy stuff, right? It's not always shooting and editing all the time. And the
Nope.
people who just love the shooting and the editing should stay and do the shooting and editing. Like if you don't want to run a business, that's okay.
Yep.
But I think really what we're building here with you is building this machine where you can empower a team of people to work with you to then bring jobs for them and then them be the technicians within your business, you know?
Most definitely. And like talking about having that machine is it. Like I said, I wouldn't be here without the guidance and like this roadmap, and like for someone who is looking to you know, do that, it's such a huge help being part of this community.
I love it, man. I love it. And I think it's really it's awesome to see you grow into this place, and just I know we're gunning for $1 million this year, so it's awesome to see that.
Yeah.
I guess kind of a crazy question, but I guess where do you think you would be if you hadn't made the jump and, you know, taken action and gotten into the program?
You know, honestly, I don't even see the fact of like, I mean, I'd probably be like second shooting for someone, and that's probably the level, because there's no way I would have been able to bring in the amount of clients that I was looking to do if I hadn't set up working with you guys. Because where I was at before, I had a client, but he wasn't staying very long, and he was about to leave, and so yeah, I who knows, and it's crazy to think about, because there's, like I said, there's no way that I would have been able to grow this business to where it's at without, like, you guys have gone through this stuff, you know what it is, it's laid out, and then I just need to take that action. And I've always said that I'm the type of person that you give me a to-do list, I will bust through that to-do list
I know,
all day. But coming up with the to-do list, that's where I struggle, you know what
Well,
I
I think
mean?
that's the hardest part sometimes is like anybody can work hard, but how do you know if you're working hard on the right things?
Right.
And that was me for a very long time, where I'm like, give me what to do and I will do it. But where most people are stuck is they don't even know what to do, or even worse, they're spending years working on things that are not the right things and wasting years of their life on things that are not going to move the needle. That's
Exactly.
to me is like the biggest cost in the world. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
100%. And then that's like you're going the opposite direction. I mean, there's really only two directions. You're either going forward towards your goals, or you're going the opposite direction, and like your business is going to close.
Yeah.
There's no
no middle ground there.
Yeah.
100%, man. Well, last question, I'll let you roll.
Yeah.
I guess if anybody's on the fence and maybe on the fence about booking a call or at least speaking with our team, I guess what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I would most definitely say go for it. It is the greatest investment that I ever made into myself, into my business. And like the thing that we always talk about is like, how do you expect someone to invest in you and what you're offering them if you can't take that into yourself and your professional growth? So I would highly suggest doing it. It is going to change the way you grow your business. So,
Dude, I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, and let's scale to $1 million this year.
yeah.